Hey, it's Dan Gage with a brand new harmonica instructional video. Thank you guys all for watching. We've got 2,800 plus subscribers, pushing 800,000 views. It's pretty exciting. I'm still getting emails and comments from you guys. I'm sorry it's been a long time since I made a video. I've been meaning to make this video for probably 3 months now, but things are really busy at work, at home, and with the new band Kingfish Jones. So try to put up a clip 3 weeks ago, a new Kingfish Jones clip. We're really excited about kind of hitting the San Diego blues scene. Well, let's get into a new instructional video. I hope you guys are all watching. I mean, there's so much info out there. I hope you're watching Adam Gussow's videos. He is clearly the most comprehensive source of information for the harmonica. But I'm still trying to come up with my own, just for maybe people that are still intimidated by some of these things, basic videos, and I'm really a technique guy. So today's technique is tongue slaps. I got a request probably in February from a guy in France who asked me about, you know, the shuffling tongue slapping thing. So I thought I'd break down the tongue slapping technique specifically. So, you know, how do you make it? I've touched on it in the octave video, touched on it in the one of my early videos of tongue block versus pucker or additive techniques, actually. That one, kind of, you know, how do you add this percussion, this sound that you hear to what you're playing? It's one of the many dynamics. So let's go with what you do for percussion for lip pursing first. And if you watch Jason Ritchie, he can make the tongue blocking sound while lip pursing. And if you don't want to tongue block, really pay attention to one of his later videos. So it's April 2009. He just put up a video, a new video, maybe a week ago, when he talks about using the pucker technique to get the tongue block sound. But forget that for a minute. Let's get into what I'm talking about, percussion with the harmonica. So if you're a pucker player, okay, the first thing you can do is obviously air control. You breathe or you don't, and that sort of fires when the note sounds. Very, very clean. I'm using a C-harp. I'm using my Chris McCulloch custom C-harp. I'm trying to get used to it after all these years of playing stock instruments. So I figured I'd keep practicing until I can really relax enough and get myself smooth enough to play this thing, which is an awesome harmonica. Okay, so one of the things they talk about is using syllables to articulate when you're playing diatonic. I did a lot of this when I was first starting out, and it's really, you know, you take your tongue and you go t, 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 like you're saying the letter T or even the letter D, da, 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 and you can start to give percussion to these notes. And if you can bend, you can use that percussion to do some of these partial bends that are very popular, sort of bending into a note. So I'm going ta, t, t, but I'm doing it and I'm pulling my tongue up into the bent position. So as I hit, so instead of just going the bend, I'm sort of hitting it harder. My tongue is going cha-ching, 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 bend on, you know. Hear that percussion? That's something, you know, if you're just playing. See how much more force I can give it? Okay. Another thing you can do, obviously, if you listen to Magic Dick and Whammer Jammer, a popular song, it's an A-harp, but he's doing a lot of things where he switches, and it sounds very much like he's doing a tongue for that rapid staccato note. So if you're practicing your bends, you practice them as well with some so doing the 4-hole draw, bend, bend. So really try to hit it. So you're going bend, unbend, or unbend, bend, bend. That doom, that doom. And that's sort of the first, you know, a lot of folks play pucker, and so I want to get into the tongue blocking stuff for the tongue slaps. But I think it's important to make this also about percussion in general. So you've got, you know, obviously you can control your air, and that's something. When you want a little more force, you can use your tongue. Oops, a little spit in there. Jason covers this in his Hooker and Heat series of videos, talking about what he calls bugling and getting that sort of, you know, sometimes. I believe that not every note, but the more notes that you have shaped and attacked, the cooler it sounds. So I really believe in attack when playing harmonica. And so as I learned to tongue block, so we went back, remind ourselves about the octave thing that we talked about, and that was trying to move between the different octaves. So watch the octave video if you haven't, or somebody else's video on split intervals or octaves. So the same idea, I'm not hitting the roof of my mouth now I'm hitting the harmonica with my tongue. So as I let the chord sound for a split second, and then I put my tongue against the post of the harmonica, in this case doing the 1-4, and now you're talking that first awesome lick from the Red Devils King CD. Which is one of the things that I learned harmonica off of when I was young, and I couldn't figure out what he was doing for the longest time because nobody told me about octaves, but which is basically also the same thing as the Walter Horton boogie. It's the same kind of lick, but just a different rhythm to it. That sort of thing. Tongue, you know, your tongue is now your rhythm, and it can go really, really fast. Or you can use it to strike those octaves. So I'm letting a little bit here. And that's what that's what I'm driving at. So that's sort of, we talked about you pucker guys and getting. Okay, getting that. Now we're talking about most of you should pucker or tongue block be able to do some octaves or be working on those octaves to get that. So you can still play your single notes and your bent notes puckered, but you can also you can't get those octaves without your tongue against the harmonica. Okay, now for you guys that are trying to do tongue blocking more, or trying to get that sound, and take a brief second to talk philosophy again. I do not believe in rules other than it should sound the best you can. So, you know, if you're not sure what sounds good, look at the guys that are really successful and sort of emulate what they're doing. Now, there's two camps of thought, and some folks are, you know, wow, you know, Neil Young is an awesome harmonica player, and if that's what you like, that's cool. But if you get into the blues world, you get into the world of somebody like Walters, like, you know, even James Cotton sort of bridges the gap for me of how articulate he is and how powerful he is. I mean, you have to find your own thing, but if you have somebody that you like, listen to the way they play and try to really evaluate yourself against what you're hearing to get a cleaner, fuller, bigger, more attacked sound. I think James Harmon is one of the best examples of attack. You listen to him, you know, it's just he just hits those things with such power and intensity, and a lot of that's going to come from these sort of techniques. So as a tongue blocker, I'm playing, well, I do both, but I'm playing a lot of tongue block lately. I'm playing just about every note with some sort of level of attack, and that's going to be a tongue slap. So we from the octaves, it's the same thing. Instead of hitting two notes, you're hitting just the one that you're aiming for. So you're letting it up, and then and you're playing the one hole at a time. Hear it? I'll do it really slow. Here, going from the chord to the single note. And then you add some rhythm to it. And this is just muscle memory, guys. There's no secret to it other than doing it over and 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 over again. It's really time on task. It's in your room, it's in your car if it's safe, it's on stage. It's just play the heck out of the harmonica. It's the only secret to getting any of this stuff, to sounding better, to getting the single notes if you guys don't, to getting your bends down. You just have to keep doing it. So more tongue slap. Hear it? And now when I'm hitting the bends, I'm not always slapping it perfectly because I want to get that bend when I want it, but there's a balance. But you find that for yourself. But so go back to that original boogie that we all do, that Jason does, and he does it puckered. It makes it sound like tongue block. Here it is, here it is again. Okay, no effects. I can't even do it. I'm such a habit. So for you pucker guys, my tongue is going ta da 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 da, and for you guys that want that big ass sound, so I can't really do too much to explain other than saying let in the chord, slap on the tongue, and this is just a feel thing. There's nothing I can really do to get inside your head other than let you hear what it sounds like, and that's what I'm trying to do here by playing over and over again, to say you just got to try it, practice it, and it just takes a while, but you know, start with some licks or copy some records. Okay? Tongue slaps. It's a technique that you can use all over the place, and it just takes time and effort to hear what what you're doing, to feel what you're doing, and to get your tongue automatically producing these these sort of percussions, these attacks on it. And you know, turn off YouTube and think about what you just heard and just sit down and do it. I mean, that's how I got it. I try, you know, the tongue flutter thing. I still can't do it side to side, which people can do the two-hole shake, you know, like little Walter did, side to side flutter. But the straight on one, it's just muscle memory, guys. Okay, thanks for watching. Please stay tuned. I'm gonna make more videos. It just takes a while for the right idea and for the time available. But I love to hear from you guys. Love that you guys are learning, and I love to see what you're doing. So send me videos and ask me questions, and I will respond, because I have time to do that. I just don't always have time to sit down and make a video. So I'm Dan Gage. Check out my band Kingfish Jones, and yeah, keep in touch.